What is similar between blockchain and getting questioned by the police? What about blockchain and volunteer work? In this video, you'll find out. Specifically, I'm going to use these analogies to help you better understand the underlying technology that makes blockchain work, called consensus mechanisms. Two most popular ones are proof of stake and proof of work. Let's go. Consensus mechanisms are the underlying secret to how blockchain becomes decentralized or how blockchain works. If you don't yet know what a blockchain is or how it works at a high level, check out this video over here. The crux of it though is that blockchain is a series of blocks that are chained together. Each new block that is added to the blockchain is actually a block of transactions with a lot of different data. It's then added to this chain of transactions to keep a history of activity. This blockchain is a universal blockchain that millions of programmers and computers have the same copy of. So it's important to verify that these transactions are accurate and correct because everyone is going to get the same copy. But who says if any one block is a legitimate block of transactions and should be added to the blockchain? Is there a boss or a committee of executives that says, yes, add it to the blockchain? No. It's actually a network of computers from all over the world that have the same copy of this blockchain that all must agree that a transaction is valid. They help verify in a decentralized way that these new block of transactions is correct. They use consensus because there needs to be a consensus of votes saying that this block of transactions is legitimate. Let's jump right into the analogies. First, how is what we call proof of work very similar to cops and criminals? Proof of work is the underlying technology that powers Bitcoin and Ethereum 1.0, so the first version of Ethereum. Let's say there are 10 suspects in a crime. All 10 suspects are brought in for questioning by the police for the next 24 hours. So the police tells everyone individually, all right, time to fess up. What actually happened in the crime scene? Whoever tells us the story first will get the reward of going free and earning money. Now, everyone is thinking really hard about this question and whether they will confess because they actually don't want to cause any trouble for the suspect. Until finally someone spills and says, here's the story. The monkey did it. Okay, says the police. Even if one person confessed, how do we know that that's the right story? Well, they wait for everyone else to confess and verify and say, hey, the monkey did it. And once it seems like 51% of the confessions are the same as that original story, the first person who confessed gets the reward promised, and now the police have verified the story. They write it in their records and they close the case. Let's relate that back to proof of work. Let's say there's a transaction that needs to be verified from a block. What happens is this block asks the network of computers a very complicated math question. For this demo, let's pretend that the complicated math question is 2 plus 2. Next, all these people who are using these computers, this, by the way, are people we call miners. So you've probably heard of mining crypto. These miners race to find the answer to that complicated math problem. In reality, everything is trial and error. And so the computers are trying to guess as many answers as possible until one of the computers say, I have the answer. They then broadcast that answer. And all the other nodes or computers now have to validate that that answer is correct. If that answer is correct, then the transaction goes through, the initial miner gets the reward, and everyone will copy that block onto their own copy of the blockchain so that they can verify the next set of transactions. Now, this works and prevents bad actors because it's very expensive to mine and create these guesses of mathematical equations. So it disincentivizes people from giving the wrong answer because if they did that, then they would have lost a lot of time and effort in trying to even come up with that wrong answer. Here's some problems with proof of work. First is that it has high barriers to entry. So actually setting up the computer that allows you to mine Bitcoin or Ethereum is very expensive. And so only a handful of people can actually set up these computers and become miners and get those rewards. The second is that it's really energy inefficient. I told you that to solve that mathematical equation, in reality, it's a lot of trial and error. Well, actually it takes so much effort to find the correct answer. It takes so much energy and power, and it's actually really bad for the environment. A study showed that for Bitcoin to sustain, it takes electrical power from about 159 countries. Not good. And lastly, there are risks to centralization. Power of crypto is that it is decentralized. So there's not one bank or executive or committee that says, yes, that is the correct answer, or no, that is the wrong answer. It's actually this network of computers. But because it takes up so much energy and is so expensive to even set up a computer and do these transactions, it ends up being that only large institutions can set up lots of mining rigs. It becomes a risk to centralization because then one institution could set up so many mining computers and own the majority vote. Apparently, there are 4 mining pools in China that own 50% of the Bitcoin voting power. It's unfair, and the average person doesn't have a chance at winning at the reward. And that's why we are evolving from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of stake is a new type of consensus mechanism that's an evolution from proof of work. Today, a lot of the new coins that are popping up are using proof of stake, as well as Ethereum. Ethereum is actually now evolving from Ethereum 1 to Ethereum 2.0, which is using proof of stake as the consensus mechanism. The advantages of proof of stake solve the problems of proof of work. Let's dive in with an analogy of how proof of stake works. Let's say you want to volunteer your time towards a charitable organization. The organization says, okay, we have a lot of volunteers, so we're going to use a lottery system. Please write your names on these post-its. For every post-it, it means you want to volunteer 1 hour of your time. So you write your name on about 10 post-its. The organization now puts all of these post-its into a random lottery, and they choose from this random lottery. After a while, your name is chosen. Hooray! And now you can do some work for the organization and volunteer your 1 hour's worth of time. At the end, you get a certificate for your time spent and a great reward of fulfillment. Awesome. Now let's relate it back to proof of stake. Say again that a block of transactions needs to be validated. People volunteer to stake their coins. So again, I have staked my own coins. It means the network will hold my coins for a while. The network then puts it into these things called validators. All right, now a block is put out. The blockchain then chooses randomly from a set of what we call validators. The validators are where your staked coins are in. The chances of a validator being chosen are equal to the amount of coins that are in that validator. A validator is then chosen. Only then do they do the mathematical work to validate the transaction and ensure that it is added to the blockchain. At the very end, all the people who staked their coins receive a reward for validating those transactions based on transaction fees. At the end, all these people who staked their coins receive rewards because they're effectively putting their coins on hold. These people can be you or me. How does proof of stake prevent bad actors? Well, in the word itself, you're staking your coins. You're putting your coins at stake. And so if you do something bad, or if you say that a transaction is valid, but it's actually invalid, then the coins that you put up will go away and you'll lose that money. Also, you might ask, what prevents a really rich person from buying 50% of the coins? And you might ask as well, what prevents anyone from buying 50% or more of the coin stake and receiving the majority vote? Well, it's really expensive to get 50% of your coins stake and receive majority of the voting power. A proof of stake is still not without its problems. One questionable thing is that it rewards the richer. So if I have a lot of my coins staked, I put it into a validator and I effectively receive more rewards as a function of the time and the value that I put into that validator. It favors the richer because of compounding interest. The counter argument though is that it's still more equitable than proof of work, which requires extremely expensive mining computers. At least in proof of stake, anyone has a chance to start staking their coins and earn those rewards. My bet is that proof of stake is going to be the future. Proof Proof of stake is more environmentally friendly, rewards people like you or me because we can stake our own coins today. Check out this video over here for how to stake, and is a generally cheaper method which helps crypto scale. I know crypto is still pretty cryptic, but I'm hoping this video gave you some new mental models and analogies to help solidify the concepts in your head. If you like the content in this video, I appreciate a like and subscribe. Comment below for any suggestions for future content. For now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.